Level 1. The kid who learns to code. You're 12 years old, sitting in your bedroom with your first laptop, a hand-me-down from your cousin. It's slow, clunky, and barely works, but to you, it's your portal to the world. No one in your class knows what HTML or CSS is, and you're determined to change that. You're not thinking of hacking yet, but the idea of building something, creating something from nothing, excites you. You start simple, designing websites for your friends. You're amazed by the code that makes the text bold or changes the background color. You quickly realize there's more to this than just making things look nice. You want to know how it all works. How do websites really work? Where do all those files go when you click Save As? How do some websites manage to stay up even when everyone is visiting them at once? That's when you start digging deeper. First, it's Google searches and online tutorials. HTML, CSS, then JavaScript. You're a self-taught prodigy, constantly learning from forums, YouTube, and books you borrow from the library. You realize that with just a few lines of code, you can change a page, alter text, add flashy animations. It's empowering, and that rush of discovery is something you can't ignore. Then, it happens. You get curious. You want to know what happens when you poke around a little bit deeper. How do websites store data? A few Google searches later, you're learning about databases and SQL. Before long, you're running your first simple SQL injection, pulling a list of users from a basic database you found online. You haven't caused any harm, but the excitement is undeniable. You've breached something. The internet feels like a playground, and you're just starting to explore. Level 2. The script kiddie. You're 16 now, and your skills have improved. You don't write all your own code anymore. No need to. There are tools for everything. Why reinvent the wheel when you can just download a pre-made script? You get your hands on Metasploit, the famous tool, and it feels like you've unlocked a cheat code for hacking. You don't need to know how it works. You just need to know what it does. With Metasploit and other tools, you start probing around, finding open ports, scanning for vulnerabilities, and exploiting weak targets. You break into a few old, unsecured servers, steal some emails, change some text on a website, or mess with their contact form. Nothing major, just enough to prove that you can do it. But it's not enough anymore. You want more. You hack into a small local business's website and deface it, leaving a message about your skills. They don't even know you've done it. You've grown accustomed to the adrenaline rush, the feeling of power when you break into something and leave no trace. You start looking for more serious targets: universities, local government websites, small companies. You go from script kiddie to someone who knows how to operate in the shadows. But you get cocky. You start using stolen data to impersonate people online, making fake social media accounts and getting access to old accounts you've found online. It's harmless at first, pranks, jokes, nothing serious, until you steal someone's bank account number and spend their money just to see if you can get away with it. You start getting sloppy. Someone reports your activity. Your IP address gets flagged by a local law enforcement agency. You weren't careful enough this time. The adrenaline is still there, but so is the sense of danger. You realize you've crossed a line, one that you might not be able to undo. Level 3, the self-taught hacker. You're 20 now, your skills have matured, but so is your ambition. No more simple pranks or low-hanging fruit. You want real challenges. You've become deeply involved in cybersecurity forums, reading up on new exploits, and discovering more advanced vulnerabilities. You've become self-taught in a way you never imagined, learning about reverse engineering, encryption, and advanced penetration testing. Your tools and knowledge are all built from the ground up. You get a job as a junior penetration tester. You're paid to break into companies and find vulnerabilities before real hackers do. You use the skills you've built over the years to hunt for weak spots in the system, reporting them to the companies before anyone else can exploit them. At first, it feels like you're on the right side of things. You're a good guy, a white hat hacker. But the dark side of your mind starts creeping in. You've spent so much time in the hacking community, discussing exploits, sharing methods, and breaking things that the ethical boundaries start to blur. You stumble across a high-profile company that you know has a massive security flaw. You also notice that they don't care enough to fix it immediately. You start using your newfound skills for personal gain. You use this knowledge to get into systems that don't pay you. You siphon money, steal trade secrets, or break into personal accounts just to prove you can. It feels right, but you know it's not. You get a taste for what it feels like to be untouchable, living in the shadows, with no one looking over your shoulder. Level 4. The Gray Hat Hacker. You're 24, and you've fully embraced the gray area between good and bad. You no longer work as a security professional for others. You're now doing freelance cybersecurity consulting and ethical hacking for paying clients. You still take jobs where you break into companies and show them where they're vulnerable, but you've found that the money from underground deals is just too tempting. You've started to work with some shady characters on the dark web, offering your hacking services for personal gain. The risks are higher, but so are the rewards. You start doing more dangerous things, like running small-scale DDoS attacks for a bit of cash, or infiltrating high-profile targets, stealing sensitive data. No one has caught on to your activities yet, and your anonymity is carefully maintained through VPNs and encrypted communication. But you've lost your way. The adrenaline rush you once felt from hacking for knowledge and skill has turned into a thirst for power and profit. You hack a celebrity's private cloud account just because you can, selling the data to the highest bidder. You start dabbling in identity theft, credit card fraud, and even extortion, blackmailing individuals with the data you've stolen. You're in the gray, and you know it. You tell yourself you're still just doing your job, but deep down, you're becoming more of a black hat hacker every day. The lines between good and bad are completely blurred now. The more you hack, the more it feels like you're playing a game where the rules no longer apply. Level 5. The Black Hat Hacker. You're 28 now. You've crossed the line fully into black hat hacking. The days of ethical hacking are behind you. You don't care about finding vulnerabilities for others to fix anymore. You're in it for yourself now. The dark web is your home, and you've become one of its most notorious players. Your name circulates in forums, your reputation growing with each successful breach. You've breached high-profile companies, stolen millions of dollars, and sold sensitive information to the highest bidder. You've even started running your own cybercrime syndicate, hiring other hackers to do your dirty work. You break into national databases, steal sensitive government data, and exploit everything from financial institutions to medical companies. You've hacked global corporations and disappeared into the shadows. Your tracks covered with cryptocurrency transactions and multiple layers of encryption. You've become a digital ghost, untouchable, operating outside the reach of any law enforcement agency. But with each new job, the stakes get higher. Law enforcement agencies are closing in. Your name is being flagged by international authorities, and your past mistakes are starting to catch up with you. But you don't stop. You can't. The thrill, the power, and the money, it's all too addictive. You've become a criminal mastermind, and the game is just beginning. Level 6, the most wanted hacker. Now, at 30, you're at the top of the food chain. You're on the run. You're a digital phantom wanted by the FBI, CIA, and every international law enforcement agency. Your face is plastered on most wanted posters around the world, your exploits notorious, and your skills unmatched. You've reached the peak, but it's all starting to unravel. You know the risks now. Your every move is being watched, your every connection traced. You operate with extreme caution, always using fake identities, encrypted comms, and the deepest layers of the dark web. But it's not enough anymore. You're no longer just a hacker. You're a criminal kingpin, and the world is closing in on you. You wonder if it was worth it, The thrill, the power, the money, because the law is coming for you. You've made enemies in every corner of the world. It's only a matter of time before they find you, corner you, and bring you down. But you're not finished. Not yet. Because you're a hacker. And hackers never stop.